whole family. New $25 child price is available. Get your tickets now at CirqueDuSoleil.com. America is also sponsored by Xerox and DHL.
Let's go! Here's the snap. He's going for it all. Looking for the end zone. He's got a man open. Got it! They win! Tampa Bay wins!
Tampa Bay Storm football tackles the airwaves now.
This place is going nuts!
Tonight's game is presented by Amelie Motor Oil. Better than it has to be.
It's a victory for Tampa Bay!
The Storm is ready to take the field. And with the call of tonight's action, here are Jack Harris and Derek Sharp.
Well, we just had the kickoff, and it was the Storm kicking off. Craig Peterson kicking off to DeMarco Simpson, a 6'3", 200-pounder out of San Diego State in his second season, but he couldn't get the ball under control in the back of the end zone, so it'll be a touchback, and it'll come out to the 5-yard line. So the L.A. Kiss moving from right to left. And in motion goes DeMarco Simpson. Back is quarterback Southwick. Danny Southwick going for it all and overthrows Donovan Morgan all the way down at about the 15-yard line of the Tampa Bay Storm.
And I tell you what, Donovan Morgan, you were right on that. Donovan Morgan was the guy that had the pass intended for him, but it was great to see some good coverage there by James Harrell. Also better to see a little bit of pressure from that defensive line. That has been one of the main reasons why the Storm have just let the opposing offenses pretty much stroll down the field.
It is out of the end zone now, and going for it all once again. Same play, picked off by the Storm. And who got that? Harrell. James Harrell picks it off. Boy, it's nice to see him in that backfield. Harrell picks it off inside the 5-yard line of the Tampa Bay Storm.
Great to see, and again, more pressure there caused Southwick to have to roll out, and he was kind of on the run, tried to set himself, but just didn't have enough on it. Morgan had his man beat, Harrell in that case, but nice job by Harrell to cut over and make the pick. That is something the Storm sorely have lacked. I'm trying to remember their last interception, Jack. I don't believe they had one during the 4-game losing streak.
I don't recall one either. I don't recall
not an
one.
actual interception. They recovered a fumble, but I don't think a pick.
Jason Boltus back looking, getting good time this time, and the ball is well overthrown over Julius Gregory on the right sideline. He's pretty well covered over there, and it goes up into the stands. I think he just dumped that one off.
It's Teron Benton, who again, Jack, has been moved from Jack linebacker to the defensive backfield, and they had to move Shane Boyle into the starting lineup. So as long as the Storm can keep the ball away from Rayshon Kaiser, they should be okay. But in that case, it was just a poor pass, even though Kaiser wasn't the man on the coverage.
2nd and 10 from their own 4 for the Storm. And back is Boltus, gets it into the hands of Emery Sammons. Emery Sammons shakes off one tackle and goes on down for the first down at the 16-yard line.
And Sammons did an excellent job there because he was actually well covered again. It was only going to, it looked like maybe get 5 or 6 yards, but made a nice deke move to get that first down. And that's a big difference, that little subtle move, because, you don't want to face that 3rd and mid-range early, and that's what they were looking at until Sammons did what he did.
So a 1st and 10 at their own 16 for the Storm, moving left to right. Their dark blue jerseys, their home outfits here. And Boltus is back under pressure, now steps out, a flag, and we got a touchdown, we hope, to Julius Gregory. Julius Gregory, a perfect pass from Boltus into the left back corner of the end zone. It's going to be apparently against the Storm because they're not going downfield for the extra point kick.
Holding. Offense, number 45. Half a distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
Bad break there. That's going to be 7 yards worth of penalty. It'll take them back to the 8-yard line.
And that penalty, Jack, on Undra Hendricks, who is getting the start tonight at fullback. They have had to move a lot of players around. Andre, I'm sorry. Knew I would mispronounce his name the first time, but let's not ever do it again. Because they've lost 2 members of their offensive line, and probably their 2 best members. We'll tell you exactly who and why after this play.
So again, Boltus up under center now at the 8-yard line with a 1st and 17. And Boltus is back and completes it. Nice shot to T.T. Tolliver, and they get 12 yards of that to the 21-yard line, their own 21-yard line. It'll be a 2nd and 5 now.
Yeah, Alfred McCullough was the man who came back from injury for just one game and got hurt, had to be placed on injured reserve. Also, great news for him, bad news for the Storm, Tyler Moore, the kid from Countryside and Florida Gator, was signed by the Chicago Bears this week. So that's two-thirds of your offensive line for different reasons. We'll tell you how they shuffled them around after this play.
2nd and 5 from their own 21. Boltus back and throwing a little behind T.T. Tolliver. The ball goes into the stands, and there was coverage down there, but if that had been thrown just a little farther north, he could have had that one, and that would have been good for a first down, maybe even a touchdown.
And very disappointing that he was locked in on Tolliver, because Tristan Purifoy came across the field and actually was in the same area of view of Boltus, uncovered. And instead, he chose to go to his initial target, thinking he'd get the ball to T.T. Tolliver. Ben Osai moves onto that offensive line. Jamarcus Hardrick moves up, and that's why you have Andre Hendricks playing fullback tonight.
Andre Hendricks. Boltus throws complete. First down and more to Emery Salmons, the 6'0", 200-pounder out of Norfolk State in his 6th season. And he takes the ball down to the 14-yard line.
And that time he did lock in on his first receiver, and it was the right play. But yeah, the big shift on the offensive line for the Storm, when you lose 2 guys, you're going to have to come up with some creative means, is to have Hardrick play on that offensive line. And he's really more of a fullback type, so we'll see how he does. He's lined up there on the right side, Osai on the left.
1st and 10 at the KISS 14 for the Storm. Boltus looking, throwing on the near side. I think that was Kendrick Ings. It's incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and 10 now at the 14.
No, if you're Kendrick Ings, you want to go ahead and make that catch when you have the opportunity, because it's clear to see, obviously, Lawrence Samuels, he's mixing up his wide receivers. There's a change being made after every play, Jack. In fact, Salmons is going out now. No, Ings stays on. Originally, it was going to be Ings coming off. So you better catch the ball when you have a chance on the field, or you might not be on there for the next play. Even T.T. Tolliver sat out of play.
T.T. in motion through the slot right. Boltus, good protection this time. Now has to roll out. He's going to run with the ball, and boom. He slammed into that wall at the 10-yard line after a gain of 4. So now it's going to be a 3rd and 6 at the 10. They need to get it down to the 4-yard line to get that first down.
And Boltus stays down. Really, he's going to regret this decision, I hope. We hope for the best, but he ran shoulder first. He went down, almost looked like to just tie his shoe, but now he's still down on that wall. T.T. Tolliver had come across the middle. He had the opportunity to throw the ball, and instead, Boltus, who's been doing a little bit more running lately, decides to keep that ball, and he is still down. This could be real trouble for the Storm.
Yeah, Luke Collis is warming up now, the not-so-good backup quarterback, but we'll talk about it when we come back. 8:57 to go in the first half. There's no score from Amalie Arena, and this is Storm Radio.
In Storm,
a television game, and there was actually a TV timeout called for whatever delay with his injury. And they're sort of skirting around having to use a timeout, unless we see the timeout come off the board, which it has not yet.
Timeout.
There you go. Okay.
There you go.
First charge
I was going to say, can't really have
30-second timeout. Number 16 can remain in the game.
There you go.
Well,
that's fair. That's fair, and it is a big 3rd and 6 here, and frankly, you want Boltus in there if he's okay. And now they're going to actually take the timeout. We can tell you what's going on in the other 2 games right now. Jacksonville has carried over its momentum from last week and really from the week before that when they beat Philadelphia. They've already gotten 2 stops, and they're facing a 4th down, though. In Orlando, Jacksonville leads it 14-0. They're facing a 4th and 2, but again, they've already stopped Orlando twice. And then the one that the Storm need to go their way is to have Cleveland lose to Spokane. Definitively not going their way right now. Cleveland leads at 21-7. Spokane's been stopped twice, and Cleveland has the ball 2nd down at the 1-yard line. So it's not looking good for the Storm getting into the playoffs unless Spokane decides to play some defense.
And that can happen. That can happen. Here we go with a 3rd and 6 from the 10. Boltus back into the end zone, and nobody there for that one. He throws it. The only nearby target was Julius Gregory, but he was a good 8 to 10 yards off on that one for Gregory, who was in the back of the end zone.
And that was, I'm telling you, that was a sign of a guy who had his right shoulder still a little sore, because there was just a little hint of pressure from Boltus's right side, and he just threw it away at the very first notice. Now the Storm are going to bring on Craig Peterson, this is he's been great lately, and it's funny because the way the Storm's defense has been going, you wouldn't want to ever say, let's just get a field goal and we'll be good. But because LA's games have been low scoring, and, generally they're not going to get far into the 40s, maybe a field goal early is a good thing.
This will be a 25-yard attempt from the 17. And Luke Collis, backup quarterback holding, and Peterson's kick is good. He nails it, so Tampa Bay takes a 3-0 lead with 7:48 to go in the first quarter, and this is Storm Radio.
Hey, what you got there?
Oh, it's a foot-long Subway turkey and bacon guacamole.
Whoa, that's like all my favorite things in one sandwich.
Me too.
As if tender turkey breast and crispy bacon weren't enough, then they added delicious guacamole.
Great crowd filling in here for sure.
He's back deep.
Except, what are we looking at there? What is that guy wearing?
That looks like something from the Comic Con, which is going on at the, I had to go through that. They had just let out, and it was unbelievable.
I need more details after this.
It's off the post, but Sampson has got it. He's out to the 5, spins off one would-be tackler, and then is snowed under at the 10-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Kiss at their own 10, moving from right to left in this first quarter.
How was the Comic-Con experience?
Oh, brother, there's some wild-looking outfits out there, to say the least. They're going to be here, I guess tomorrow is the last day of Comic-Con, and if you want to see something bizarre, you need to just drive downtown and drive around the arena area. I lucked out just as they had let out the afternoon session, and it was packed with weird people. Here's a throw that is well behind the intended receiver, who was Tom Gilson. And it'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 10-yard line.
Shaky start for Southwick, and that Storm defensive front is getting in to his grill a little bit. That's nice to see. Brandon Cisse inactive tonight. So the Storm have had to put a new guy, Ronnie Barrow, on the field. Bethune-Cookman, former star. More on him in a minute.
Back is Southwick. Southwick being pursued. He's dropped there. The ball is loose, but the ball is going to be down. But is that going to be a safety? Let's see. No, they're going to say that he lost the ball right at the 1-yard line.
And so close to being either a safety or a Storm recovery in the end zone.
Quarterback's forward progress was stopped at the 1-yard line.
I agree with that part, but I want to see if his knee was down. Now, are they saying that the reason that... Okay, his knee was certainly down.
His knee was down at the 1. That was a good position of the ball altogether. He was definitely taken down there.
How good does that feel if you're Richard Kleber to get in there? That goes down as a sack for him, and he is so happy to pick that up.
And the Storm looking good. Southwick out of the end zone, and this one is batted down. It's simply knocked down.
And Nick Addison making his debut at Jack linebacker with a different number 23, because since he was cut by the team, Tristan Purefoy came on and wore number 13. Makes that knockdown, and L.A. probably has no choice here. It looks like they may try the long kick, which is quote-unquote a field goal attempt, but really just so that the Storm don't get the ball at the 1-yard line after an incomplete pass.
Yeah, is that the kicker coming in? I think it is. Andre Idari.
The Storm have to rush a player off the field just to make sure that they don't give L.A. a free 5 yards here.
And here's the kick. It's kicked away and out of play. And we got a flag down there.
And I hope the Storm don't get nailed for illegal defense. It might give L.A. a chance to run an offensive play. Now, again, they'd still have 14 yards to go. And actually, if you're L.A., it might be smart just to keep the ball where it is.
Yeah, that was a 4th and 20. And he might have a better kick in him.
That's true. That's true, too. With a little more run, they might just kick it again.
Yeah.
And actually try and make it this time, because there was that's an intention. And when you kick it from your own back of your end zone, you're not trying to make the field goal. You're just trying to get it out.
Talking it over, and the referee.
I didn't know you could have illegal defense on a kick, though. And the Storm weren't moving when the ball was snapped, so obviously there was something with their alignment. Maybe a player was off.
Well, they're still talking it over down there, and I haven't seen anybody jumping up and down with glee, and I don't see anybody moving upfield.
The sad part is the Storm weren't trying to do anything illegal. They weren't gaining any advantage. They had 4 guys in line. They had somebody in the second neutral then. That's what it would have been. Yep. Somebody in the second neutral zone, because your MAC linebacker is supposed to leave a yard, even on a kick like that. Can't have 4 guys rushing the kick. So that's what it looks like it's going to be, and we'll see. The interesting part is what L.A. does.
Well, they moved the ball up 5 yards, and it's a 4th down. I still think they're going to kick it, but no, their kicker might be leaving.
Oh, boy, this would be a terrible situation for the Storm if they can't take advantage of a gift.
The guy with the marker hadn't moved the marker yet. He's still got it.
Maybe they're declining it. They're declining is what's going to happen here.
Is that what they're doing?
That's what it looks like. Let's see what the call is here. I think they're declining the penalty.
There are people all over the field
Legal
here.
formation on the defense, not lined up against the offensive line. Penalties decline. The result of the play is Tampa Bay first down.
So Tampa Bay has got the ball, and let's see where the ball will be set at the 20-yard line, at their own 20-yard line. So another big stop for the Tampa Bay Storm.
A little curious about that one because obviously Bob McMillan didn't want to have an incompletion at the 6. It's obviously better to give the team the ball at the 20, its own 20, than your own 6. However, you could have still tried another kick there. Maybe he wasn't confident in his kick cover.
Apparently he doesn't think Haidari can get the job done. I'd have let him kick it again for sure. Well, back is Boltus going for the end zone this time and overthrows T.T. Tolliver.
We got a flag. It looks like it's going to be against L.A. Well, either way, we got to remember the Storm. Here's the call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 2. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And another first down. That'll take it all the way to the 20.
We were so in tune to what was the call on that last play and the strategy involved that we kind of buried the lead, as they say, Jack, and that is the Storm have gotten a stop, and the Storm have gotten a
turnover.
Two stops, yeah.
So
absolutely.
basically 2 stops, one with an interception and the other a stop on downs.
And that's all that we've asked for. I mean, they literally had 0 stops the last 2 games. New Orleans 9 touchdowns and a field goal, and then 7 for 7 with touchdowns last week. 9 for 9, I should say.
Boltus back and throws it. It's complete to Ings in the middle. And Ings was wide open, and that should, let's see if they move the markers. I think they will. Yep, they're going to move the markers. It'll be 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Moving left to right, our Tampa Bay Storm.
And I have purposely not been scoreboard watching myself, but speaking of stops, Cleveland actually came up with a half stop, so it's 24-7. I'm sorry, Spokane. So Cleveland's up 24-7 against. Cleveland has to lose that game for the Storm to have any chance.
It's 1st and goal at the 10. Boltus, but they give to, let's see, who's playing that fullback slot? Yeah, that's the new guy here.
Andre Hendricks with the nice carry there, and that's something the Storm have not gotten. He actually ran with purpose there, something we haven't seen at all from the Storm fullback position. He got the first hit by Charles Clay, who was, again, a defensive back playing jack linebacker, and so certainly the weight advantage, and I'm sure that's something that Lawrence Samuels wanted to take advantage of. A little size in the interior of LA's defense, and they got him to that second level, and that's why he got the extra couple yards.
Yeah, he's 5'11", 305 out of Hardin-Simmons. Let's see if they run him again. This time Boltus is back, looking to pass. Rolling out to the right side. Back of the end zone, touchdown to T.T. Tolliver. Tolliver got himself open in the back of the end zone. Boltus rolled out to the right side and looked like he had a hankering to run it, but he saw T.T. open in the back and threw it perfectly over the head of the defender into the hands of T.T.
And that's how the Storm offense should appreciate the effort of the defense by actually cashing in on it. T.T. Tolliver, who I didn't like his body language on one of the previous incompletions, he kind of gave up on the ball and had that look towards Jason Boltus like, hey, why didn't you throw it better? Well, that time he made the adjustment, and so did Boltus.
And Peterson comes in for the extra point try and nails it. So we've got a 10-0 game. The Storm in front of the L.A. Kiss with 2:31 to go in the first period. And this is Storm Radio.
Storm fans,
They are legal in Colorado.
That's a good point. And then, of course, Wacky Jack is WHACKY JACK. But yeah, Kiss on my list is number 1. And right now, that's the only one on my list. I can't come up with any other Kiss songs. Put me on the spot.
Here's the kick from Peterson, and back is DeMarco Sampson. Sampson takes it out of the air in the back of the end zone, going to the right side, finds running room, and it's Peterson who hauls him down. But not until he gets out to the 22-yard line. And I tell you, it's a bonus to have a good kicker who is also a good return coverage guy.
I mean, that was an extraordinary bonus, Jack, because that's a play where Sampson had the lane. I mean, he made the move that you need to make. Sometimes it just takes that one move and you are free. And most other kickers would have sort of just lollygag like, oh, I'm not going over there where the guy's running. Not going to do that. I'm going to stay over here and be safe. Well, he went and just made a form tackle. It was incredible.
Well, it's a 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line as they take a little timeout here on the thing. You can get in on the action of the next Storm season now by becoming a Storm season ticket member. And believe me, there are tremendous benefits to becoming a Storm season ticket member, including concession and merchandise discounts, special concert and events discounts, and a whole lot more. And the neat thing is season ticket plans start at less than $20 per game. So go to TampaBayStorm.com for more information, TampaBayStorm.com, or you can call 813-301-6600. And you will find all kinds of entertainment like we're seeing right now. Some little kids out here on the field.
Yeah, it's a relay race.
I'm not sure what they're doing.
It's a relay race, plain and simple. But the last kid was just like, a future Olympian. Fantastic.
Yeah, one kid took off like a bullet. Maybe the Storm ought to sign this guy tonight.
Well, now they're telling them to run as quickly off the field because they're ready for play. Looking at the other games going on, again, the Storm hoping that Cleveland loses, and at least Spokane is making some inroads. They were down 21-0. Now they've just scored to make it 24-14. Now Spokane will get the ball to start the second half, so maybe if they keep it a 10-point game, that'll be interesting. And it just got interesting in Orlando. Again, the winner tonight, if it's Orlando, they definitely are the South Division champ. If it's Jacksonville, all but certainly. So we're looking at this as the game, Orlando and Jacksonville. The winner will win the division and get to host the other team in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, Jacksonville had a 14-0 lead, and the ball had to settle for a 17-0 lead with a field goal. And then Orlando just got a touchdown and a pick six. So now it's gone from 17-0 Jacksonville to 17-14. So that game looks like it is on. Of course, here we've been having a great time so far, as has the crowd here on Fan Appreciation Night, as the Storm defense, which has struggled mightily during this 4-game losing streak, has come up with 2 stops, has made life difficult on Danny Southwick, the quarterback for L.A. By the way, briefly a former Storm was Southwick, and we should point out that this year L.A.'s quarterback was supposed to be Adrian McPherson. He fizzled out, and they also had Brian Zevanusi. So it's been one former Storm quarterback after the next in L.A. this year.
They've been running them through there. Here we go, the 1st and 10 for the Kiss at the 23-yard line, and a completed pass down to Donovan Morgan, and that gets him a first down at the Storm 11-yard line. And so far, the Kiss has not scored with 1:48 to go in the first period. The Storm leading 10-0.
Again, this L.A. team pulled off the upset of the whole arena football season, and it put them in position to where they at least have a chance for the playoffs. They're probably going to have to win tonight and somehow pull off a win against San Jose next week, so kind of a tall task.
Oh, it certainly is. Back is Southwick, looking, all kinds of time. He gets hit right after he delivers a pass, and that was almost picked off back there. Was that Tim Shelley, too, or who was we have back
Burden?
there?
Randall Burden.
Randall Burden, yeah. Randall Burden out of UK.
Makes him a good player automatically.
A Wildcat.
It was, again, providing the pressure there. Ronnie Barrow along with Richard Kleibert. Barrow is a guy that they picked up this week from Bethune-Cookman. In 2 seasons at Bethune-Cookman, he picked up 75 tackles, which is a ton for a defensive lineman if you think about it. 15.5 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. That's pretty good.
So here we go with the 2nd and 10 from the 11. And a pass completed on the near side to DeMarco Sampson. And Sampson drives down inside the 5 to the, let's see if they'll spot it at the 4-yard line. And that'll make it a 3rd and 3. They can get a first down inside the 1-yard line.
But Harrell making sure that he didn't get any further than he did. And again, an LA team that obviously doesn't have a ton of confidence on offense, hence they decided to decline a penalty when they could have gone for it from their 6-yard line. Now, this is, again, the tough part of the field to score. We've seen that enough with the Storm, but it would be hard for them to pick up a first down, much less the touchdown.
Southwick, 6'2", 215 out of Occidental, drops back. Good protection and tries to get it into the hands of DeMarco Sampson on the left side at the wall, but it's a little too far for Sampson to reach.
The first quarter.
And that is the end of the first quarter, so they'll move to the other end of the field, and it will be a 4th and 3 from the 4 of the Storm when we 4. So they got to get it inside the 1-yard line. And let's see what they can do here. Okay, the Southwick is back, throws, and we got a flag on the play as it might be against the Kiss. I'm not sure. There was a...
No, it's going to be pass interference against the Storm, unfortunately.
It's going to be against the Storm?
And I thought they could have...
That one will be on Randall Burden.
I honestly thought they could have tabbed the Storm for it. There's another flag in the offensive backfield. Let's see if that is one of those where maybe a hold on L.A.
but
makes them run the play over.
Yeah, L.A. wins on that one because they get to run the play again.
By the defense. Personal foul, roughing the passer,
so
number 93. Penalties declined. Pass interference, number 26. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Oh, boy, that hurt.
Yeah, so much
that takes them down to the 2-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal. 1st and goal from the 2 for the Kiss. Moving left to right in this second quarter now.
Well, in that case, it's almost good that they actually whistled the pass interference, because if they had not, then that roughing the passer would have been completely unnecessary. But both of them, you pretty much have to give L.A. the first down at the 2.
Yep, certainly do. And here we go, and it's a pitch out to their fullback, and their fullback fights his way through and into the end zone. Miles Mason at 6'4" and 300 pounds, a rookie out of Utah.
Miles Mason would not be denied. A fistful is all the Storm could get of him. And he used that powerful physique to just slam into the end zone. I'm looking. I don't think he's got that many carries this year. He's got 9 now. That's his 3rd touchdown. So, yeah, he's an option.
Well, it's nice to see the Storm running the ball in one of their possessions with Andre Hendricks finally and getting some yardage. The extra point try is good, and the game tightens up a little here at 10-7 with 13:55 to go in the first half. Here we go. Here's the kick, and Ings can't get to it. And T.T. Tolliver, the up guy, falls on the ball at the 1-yard line. So the Storm will start out with their backs to the goal line here. 1st and 10 at the 1.
Well, unfortunately, key moment in that Cleveland-Spokane game, Jack, just went against what the Storm were hoping, because Spokane had got the lead to 10. And if they had scored late in the first half to make it a 3-point game, they were going to get the ball to start the second half. They will, obviously, still, but they just got stopped on downs. So instead of it being a 3-point game at halftime, Spokane ball, and maybe that game is, everything's looking up. Now it's still a 10-point game, and Cleveland has 34 seconds. Hopefully Spokane keeps them out of the end zone.
Yeah, that'll be key here. From the 1, Boltus in the end zone, and this one is batted down at the line of scrimmage. And so it'll be a 2nd down coming up here.
Big man down on the field. We could see him in the pregame. Antron Dillon, one of those guys that is in such good shape. He can, he's a defensive player who can have I think I'm just going to have my jersey tied up here just above my sternum during warm-ups. But if you're a defensive lineman and you can do that, you're in good shape.
Showing those abs.
He is.
Showing those 6-packs. Here we go from the 1. 2nd and 10.
Well, you're good at showing 6-packs.
From the 1. But not the right kind of 6-packs. Tolliver in motion on the left side along the wall. Boltus is now going to run with the ball. He is brought down, but we got flags all over the place. And that could be a hold. He got out to the 4 or 5-yard line.
I think we're going to see illegal defense on one of them.
Boltus lost his helmet again.
Jeez, I know he's got to buckle that thing up.
He certainly does. You don't want to see him get his head bashed.
Both teams fouled in the play. Offside. Defense number 3. Holding. Offense number 45.
So
fouls offset.
Advantage.
Replay, 2nd down.
Tampa Bay, they get to play the 2nd down again, although that was a decent gain on the play out to the 5-yard line. Wow. Turn that mic off before you blow that whistle, please. Whew, that hurt.
Boltus 5 of 10 tonight, and Jack mentions his helmet coming off earlier. He took a hard hit into the boards when he was on the scramble, so he's a little bit shaky tonight, but less shaky than Danny Southwick. The LA quarterback's 2 for 8 right now.
So 2nd and 10 from the 1. Boltus deep in the end zone, throws and gets themselves some room. That's going to be a 1st down. And that was complete to Emery Sammons out of Norfolk State, the sixth-year guy.
Usually I'm not a big fan of the you catch the ball and you signal first down like you're rubbing it in, but Emory Sammons has earned the right to do that tonight. He's had a couple now of passes that led to catches that led to a first down where neither of them were easy. The first time, remember, he juked a guy to get the extra 4 yards on a second down, and that one was good coverage by Kaiser that he beat.
1st and 10 from the 11, moving right to left. Boltus is back under pressure now. Looks like holding going on. The ball is knocked loose. The Kiss has the ball and inside the 5-yard line. And let's see who got that. I think it was Teron Benton out of Iowa State. Teron Benton, was he the recovery guy?
It was Clay.
And, it was Clay. Okay, Charles Clay out of Hawaii.
And I tell you, Boltus didn't know which end was up. He was under hot pursuit by two, both defensive ends of the LA Kiss, and gets the ball knocked loose, and now the Storm. You know, it's funny how things have gone here in the last minute. We mentioned things going poorly in the other game where it could have been perfect for the Storm. Well, Cleveland, of course, has already scored, so that's going to be maybe 31-14. Again, the Storm need Cleveland to lose, and of course right here, the game they have to win, all of a sudden doesn't look such a certainty.
And certainly not a slam dunk here by any stretch of the imagination is Southwick. Back with the ball now. Got great protection. Looked like a little holding going on there, and there's a pass that's off the target in the end zone. It'll be a second down now. Boy, these numbers are hard to see on these LA Kiss players, and that one was to DeMarco Sampson.
And the LA Kiss were fortunate there. They were nabbed for holding as Richard Klebert had broken through the line, and at the last second, the LA offensive lineman, who knew he had a little bit too much of that jersey, just let go. And I think it should have been holding either way.
2nd and goal from the 4. I thought we had offsides then. The ball's knocked around, and is it picked off? I think it is.
So.
We got a pick.
It was Al Phillips who caught it, Jack, and I think it was tipped at the line, and Phillips, who has had such trouble this year hanging on to passes, made one of his more difficult catches because it sort of trickled through a bunch of hands, a maze of hands, and he managed to hang on to it.
That is fantastic. Al Phillips out of Wagner in his 6th season, the 5'11", 190 in the first half. The Storm leading 10-7, and they have the ball with a 2nd and 10 at the 5-yard line, and they've had 2 turnovers, 2 picks thus far, and a stop. So they played some good defense against the LA Kiss tonight.
And now they've had to replace another offensive lineman. We already told you how Alfred McCullough injured reserve this week, and then Tyler Moore got signed by the Bears. Now Ben Osai leaves, and Richard Klebert, the middle of the defensive line, is now the middle of the offensive line. Going to snap the ball. And he's got to worry about getting a good snap off. And then, blocking those big dudes, too.
And instead of trying to push through the guy.
He's probably thinking it's more fun on the other side. I don't want to do this.
I think so. And Boltus throws this one away as the line just collapsed on that play. And they were lucky. I think he got rid of that to keep from getting a safety.
Well, that was
no protection there.
That was a play call designed to take it easy on your new center, who's really not a center. And it's almost like, Lawrence Samuels is looking up on the bench to see if there's an offensive lineman that's there, but they don't have one.
No,
I'm looking to see who else is active, who else is even an option tonight. And that's a big NO. We got guys with D, not O, on the start of their
3rd and 10
position.
From the 5. Boltus gets hit in the end zone and just dumped that one off, basically. I guess he was looking over there, Julius Gregory, but it never came close to Gregory, and now it's going to be a 4th and 10 at the 5-yard line. Well, here's one. Where do you bring your kicker in? Of course, we got a kicker who could probably make it.
Tampa Bay.
And Tampa Bay is going to take their second timeout with 8:37 to go in the first half, leading 10-7, but in a position of whether they have to try to go for 4th and 10 at their own 5 and maybe give up the ball there.
30-second timeout.
Say 30-second timeout here, so we'll hold it right here. And
they're playing like they heard the Cleveland score. I mean, I realize that it's tough when you have an offensive lineman situation like they do, but man, and it was right up the middle both times. LA fully obviously aware of the situation, and they just bulldozed in to Jason Boltus 2 plays in a row. Now the Storm are going to bring out Craig Peterson, and this again will be more like a punt. Now he does have the leg.
Yeah.
We have seen him take a kickoff and put it right through the uprights before. And he will be basically kicking the ball right around where that goal line is.
This would be a 60-yarder, probably an arena football record if he got it.
Well, he does have the longest one of the season. That 43-yarder last week was the longest. This is a different animal.
Yeah.
I really think he's going to try and make it.
He is.
As opposed to just hook it at around the 10 if he can. We'll see.
He's really looking down there. And this will be incredible if he does. Here we go. A 60-yard try. No, it's going to be way short, but into the end zone. That's the good thing. And coming out with it is DeMarco Sampson. Sampson gets away from a couple of guys, and again, Peterson didn't even get him that time, but he held him long enough for a couple of other guys to come up and get him.
Well, after all that, I don't know, man. I just think this game is going to come down to who can actually get their offense clicking for maybe 2 possessions in a row. The Storm have not had that luxury here tonight. And again, you talk about all the different areas of the game, Jack. Defense is the one that we focused in on. And what has their defense done? They stopped them 3 times. But the offensive line of the Storm tonight on the other side has been the major problem. And again, injury, NFL plucking away more, and whatever the reasons are, it's been a problem.
Now be on your best behavior. We have some students here who are listening right now behind us. Matt Salmon.
And they want to take your job one day,
here
from
we
what
go.
I understand. So.
We got a sack. Can't beat that. I missed it, too. Darn it. Danny Southwick gets taken down for a big loss. This will take it back to the 14-yard line, and that'll make it a 2nd and 16.
I think they'll get the shared sack there. Richard Kleebert and Ronnie Barrow, again, the new Storm player, because Kleebert set him up and Barrow knocked him down. Kleebert, you can't call it a twist move because you're not allowed to do that, but it was almost that. It was a swim move, and he looked like a guy that was angry about his blocking and wanted to return the favor, and he certainly did there. They will give that sack to Barrow, but I think they should give a half to Kleebert.
Southwick's back. He trips a little. Now he's looking to throw the ball, and he does complete, but not enough for a first down, and a big hit on Tom Gilson. Got hit hard, and I think was that Al Phillips that got him? That hit him? I think it was Al Phillips that
he
punched him into that wall.
Pummeled him into the wall.
Yeah. Oh, man. We just saw it because we couldn't see it from up here when it happened. It was below the wall, but we just saw a replay from the other side of the field, and he hit it hard.
Good job by Gilson to act like he wasn't hurt.
Big play coming up here. A couple of big play chances. 3rd and 3 now from the 23 of the Storm.
Look at this guy.
They go to their big guy, Miles Mason, who gets them the needed yardage and the first down, and they move the sticks down to the 19-yard line of the Storm. And again in this quarter, the Kiss is moving from left to right. They've got their white jerseys with the yellow shoulders, yellow and black shoulders.
For our prospective play-by-play men in the booth here, the Storm Chasers, you're getting to see the most difficult to identify jersey numbers in the entire Arena Football League.
Oh, man.
You should be so lucky.
They're nasty. Back is Southwick. Southwick looking to the end zone. Got a man wide open. Donovan Morgan uncovered over there. You had 2 guys covering the other man on the far side, but they were over there with Tom Gilson, and wide open was Donovan Morgan on the right side, and that's almost like practice. Takes it in, and boom.
Yeah, there was the zone where you had a little miscommunication there, but it's hard to put anything on the defense right now. For God's sakes, they've had 3 stops tonight.
Yep.
I mean, this
two
game,
picks and a stop.
This game should be well in hand by the Storm, and they just haven't been able to get it done.
Here's the snap and the hold on the PAT, which is good. So now we've got a 14-10 game. All of a sudden, the LA Killer team to win tonight's game. And right now, it's up for grabs, certainly. And what's happening in Cleveland? How are we looking there?
Yeah.
Or in Cleveland with Spokane shock.
How many times has the end of the half decided game? It's looking like it'll decide it in Cleveland's favor. We'll explain after this.
Here's the kick. Ings takes it. Whoops, he drops it in the back of the end zone, and he is taken down. So that'll come out to the 2.5-yard line.
Yeah, Cleveland's up 31-14, Jack. And again, Spokane had fallen behind 21-0. had gotten a half stop with a field goal, and we're going to work the clock right there. We're going to get it down to a...
Ball's placed at the 2-yard line.
Going to get it down to a one-score game at the half and then start the second half with the ball. They got down inside the 5, 24-14. You score then again, make it 24-21, and then you start the second half with the ball. It's great for Spokane. It's great for the Storm, but they can't score. Cleveland's defense comes up with a stop, and then 2 plays later they're in the end zone. So 31-14 halftime, and that just doesn't look good for the Storm.
Ings left the field favoring his hand. Hope his hand's okay, as here we go from the 2-yard line. Boltus back out of the end zone, going for it deep, and we got some holding going on there. That's an easy call.
And
he was
smart
trying
play.
to get it to Julius Gregory, and he was just stopped down there. And
Well, it was Rayshon Kaiser, and it was a very smart pass interference. That's what you call a veteran penalty.
Yeah.
Pass interference. Defense, number 7. 10-yard penalty.
And
automatic first down.
let me just say, real nice to see the deep pass by the Storm. They had used it to such great effect, and they'd gotten away from it. It's good to see Boltus have enough time to throw that pass. And, in fact, Gregory was going to catch it. He had gotten loose from Kaiser, who did a nice job to make it just a short penalty, 10 yards.
That's the old Tim Markham thing with those DBs. That guy looks like he's going to score. You grab him. You make it very blatant, but grab him. Worst you'll do is get a penalty. You don't lose the score right there. So it's a 1st and 10 from the 12. And a flat pass out this time to Julius Gregory, who bowls over a would-be tackler and gets a couple of extra yards. And that will be to the, the 18, I think. You got 4:10 to go in the first half. So it's going to be a 2nd and 3 for the Storm from the 18-yard line.
And we talk about end of half being so critical from a strategic point of view. If you're wondering here, the Storm do get it to start the second half. So just get the lead, have the ball, and go from there. But the offense has been slow to get going tonight.
They have certainly been that. Back is Boltus. And good pass downfield. And, yeah, that was to Emery Sammons. And Sammons takes it for a big first down. Was that incomplete? Did he lose it?
Lost control of the ball in the stands. And it was,
son of a gun.
I don't know if so much the stands as it was the board. Kaiser did a nice job. Actually, you know what? Give Kaiser credit there, because not only did he push him into the board, he didn't finish there.
He smacked the ball away.
Absolutely great play by Rayshon Kaiser. And again, he has been the reason for LA's turnaround. If you want to pinpoint it on one guy, he brought an attitude to the defense, and the whole unit has been fantastic in getting to a point where they won 4 of 6 games and are still in the playoff running.
3rd and 4. Boltus takes the snap. Back, going long, and... Whoa, was that off the helmet of the defender? He was trying to get it to Kendrick Ings, and it bounced off the helmet of the defender. The defender was that close.
Right, Teron Benton was the guy who knew the ball was going to come there and did a nice job, got his hand up as well. I mean, that's perfectly played, honestly.
That was Purifoy down there.
Yeah, Tristan Purifoy was the intended receiver, but Benton certainly made a heady play. More ways than one.
A heady play. That's a good way to put it.
We're looking at 4th down. I mean, this is just critical. This needs to be no more long passes. Just get the yardage here.
Yeah.
And Tolliver's going to be the man that has the advantage.
4th and 3, and Boltus is back, and he is dropped for a loss. And that means the Kiss is going to take it over, and with 2:12 to go, a golden opportunity for the Kiss to really take control here.
And that's the man who got the fumble, by the way, Logan Harrell, and he's forced the fumble, I should say. Logan Harrell was not even supposed to start tonight, so he has made a big impact on this game. And again, Boltus hesitant to pull the trigger there, tried to run for the ball when there was no chance for the marker, I should say. And now you're asking your defense almost to do too much at this point.
Yeah, they got 16 yards into the blue turf, into the end zone now for the LA Kiss, and the clock has started down to 1:50. We'll get the 1-minute warning here. They'll get off at least one big play. And back is Southwick, and Southwick goes for the end zone. Whoa! And that play was broken up.
And a fan is down, and I don't think getting back up anytime soon. And you hate to see that.
DeMarco Sampson is the guy. They tell you to really be careful if you're going to be along that wall. People love to be along the wall because you're so close to the action.
Oh, man.
He hit it hard.
Really got run into hard, and I would hope that Sampson goes over there and checks on the fan. I think they should stop playing. In fact, a lot of the Storm players are pointing over to that area saying this needs to be taken care of more than the game. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I hope that Sampson realizes it and checks up on the fan. The L.A. coach is thinking, what are we doing here? They're gonna start the play again.
Yep, they sure are. So it's a 2nd and 10 at the 16-yard line, but it's very dangerous to be up against that wall like that. We're down to the 1-minute mark, and the ball was snapped, but the official blew the play dead as we're at the 1-minute warning here, which the rules are altered for the final minute of each half. And we'll take a break here with the Storm trailing the L.A. They're incomplete passes or balls that go out of bounds. Players out of bounds, they stop the clock. Southwick with a throw to the fullback. It was a screen to the big guy who does pretty well as a receiver there. Miles Mason goes pounding down to the 4-yard line with it. It'll be a 1st and goal at the 4.
I got to do a little research on this Miles Mason because he looks like a weapon. I wonder if he played any tight end moving up the ranks, or if he's always been an offensive lineman, because he had the 2 good runs tonight, but he looked like a natural tight end on that catch.
Yeah, he's got 4 downs to try to run it in if they want to do that, although I'm sure they'll throw it a couple of times.
And if you look at the clock, they're letting it wind down. The Storm only have 1 timeout.
Yeah, they certainly are doing that. We're down to 20 seconds, under 20 now. Timeout.
Los Angeles.
Now
the kiss goes for the timeout.
Strategically, you could do really well here if you're the Storm to force a field goal. That play gets it down to the 4-yard line. If you keep them out of the end zone, then you're in great shape. And, of course, the kicker is already anticipating it, even though it's 1st down now. He's out there on the field warming up. Jack, you notice their kicker, he's got 2 different colored shoes. The kicking shoe is a fluorescent yellow. The other one is red and black. It to me, maybe it's an optical illusion, but it looks like his left foot is a lot smaller than his right foot. Which only a kicker would have
illusion. I think it's optical illusion, probably.
But if it's going to happen to somebody, it would be a kicker.
This
guy's let's overcome it. I can't kick with the left foot, obviously. It's real little. But the right foot, I'm going to make into a kicking foot.
He's a 215-pounder. He's my height and 215. I'm about 180 at that height, so he's a hefty one.
Hefty is a good word.
Here we go.
You're going to say stocky or stout.
1st and goal at the 4 with 17 seconds left, and Southwick throws it up into the stands. Uncatchable. The target was Donovan Morgan.
Great coverage there by Al Phillips, who has the interception. 1 interception tonight. Again, the Storm have 2 interceptions and a 3rd turnover on downs. That was really based around a Richard Kleebert sack. The defense has done its job tonight. It's a you look at the 4-game losing streak. They let Philadelphia score a touchdown each of its second half possessions. Orlando, a couple stops, so that was it. And then no stops the last 2 weeks. So they've done their job. The offense has struggled.
Yeah. Offense not getting it done tonight. Here's Southwick back. Looking and bobbled incomplete off the hands of Donovan Morgan. And it's going to be a 3rd and goal from the 4 with 8 seconds remaining. And I'm with you. I think they'll go for the field goal on that last down. He almost got that. He got a hand on it. Donovan reached out and got a hand on it. He's a 7-year guy in his 7th season. So big play here, 3rd and goal. You need to break this one up and force them to go for that field goal. They've already got a 14-10 lead. 21-10 would not be good.
Here the Hats have killed the Storm.
The snap. He's back looking, getting too much time. Ball is knocked loose, and it's going to be recovered by the Storm, and we're out of time in the half, but the Storm recovered, and basically they do what they had to do. They got the stop, and thus it's a 14-10 game.
And it'll count as a 3rd turnover, and it should. The Storm deserved to have that on their defense, and now it's time for the offense to pick it up.
Boy, it certainly is. That was knocked away from him, so
Dawkins knocked it away, and Jackson picked it up.
Halftime score. Crowd here tonight,
and
too.
Complete the sentence and, go to Orlando next week and win. I mean, you watch what will happen next week after those 2 losses to Orlando where everything was going the Storm's way and then went against them both times. You watch, everything will go in their way next week, after everything's decided, right?
Yeah, when it's nothing on the line.
Yeah, but, hey, we'll take it.
Here comes the kickoff. Ings back deep and takes it across the line. He had to cross the line. It went under the goalpost, and so it'll come out to the 5-yard line, I think, or is that going to be to the 2? Let's see, to the 5. It'll come out to the 5-yard line, so it's a touchback.
Talking about an offensive struggle, 51 yards on offense for LA, 79 for the Storm. Boltus is 7 for 17, 71 yards. Southwick, 5 for 16, 2 interceptions, and sacked 3 times. The Storm defense could not have done much better.
Yeah, they just aren't getting the offense to get the job done. Oh, here's a pass to Ings, and Ings gets clobbered just as he tries to catch that ball. And the clobberer, I can't read those numbers.
Well, it's Rayshon Kaiser again.
Is that Rayshon?
Again, if these guys really haven't talked about what LA needs for its playoff hopes, they're actually hoping for Spokane to lose to Cleveland tonight, and they want Portland to take care of Vegas later on, which actually probably will happen because that game's important.
All right, here we go with Boltus. Takes the snap from the 5-yard line. Goes deep and a little short, and a couple of guys tripped up, but he couldn't have gotten to that ball. That was Tolliver all the way down at the 10-yard line, and he and the defender got their feet tackled up here. I don't think that was catchable anyway. It was a little bit short.
Man, it just
might have been with a miraculous catch.
I don't think the Storm have strung together 2 consecutive successful plays tonight, Jack. Maybe on the touchdown drive.
And here's it. 3rd and 10 now for them from their own 5-yard line. Boltus brings him up. The motion man's going to be Emery Salmons through the slot right. And back is Boltus looking for Salmons, and it's incomplete. Now it's going to be a 4th down, big 4th down play from the 5-yard line.
Rayshon Kaiser on the coverage, and I'm telling you, the Storm need to look the other way. Whoever is, Jason Boltus has got to recognize who Kaiser has and look to his other options, because he is
Salmons
just like a blanket out there.
Salmons had his hands on that one and just couldn't hold on to it.
Well, it's because Kaiser knocked it out of there, and he's just fantastic. So, it's almost like you call your play in the huddle. You can't match up so that you're not going up against Kaiser. You can't flip at the last second on offense. But
well, let's see what happens. Big play, 4th and 10 from their own 5. And Boltus is back, looking, and completes it. 1st down. Gets it out to Julius Gregory, and Gregory gets him the 1st down at the 19-yard line. Big play for Boltus and company.
Well, that was a big play, and something they've been sorely lacking tonight. And it was a nice adjustment there by Boltus. He was going to hurl the ball deep and just sort of hope that T.T. Tolliver would outduel his man. But then at the very last second, he saw Gregory kind of checked up just outside, across the marker. Wonderful job by Gregory, too.
1st and 10 from their own 19. Ings in motion, slot left. Boltus over the middle of the field, complete. And that is to Ings. And Ings gets him another 1st down at the 16-yard line of the Kiss. Moving from left to right in this quarter.
And I'm telling you, that was a pass made by a quarterback who's just got a little boost of confidence. And it's funny how sometimes just one play is what it takes to get that boost of confidence. That 4th and 10 play carried over to the next one for Boltus, because he's fired that ball like I haven't seen him fire a ball tonight.
Yep, he's looking much better in this quarter, that's for sure. 1st and 10 at the 16, and Boltus goes for it. And let's see, is that going to be a touchdown? No, they're going to say he was forced out of bounds at the 2-yard line, so it'll be a 1st and goal on that one at the 2-yard line, and that was Emery Salmons, by the way.
But it continues. That was another rifle fired in there by Boltus. So, we said the Storm offense had to show up, and it is.
They are doing that right now. This is one of the best series they've had in weeks and weeks and weeks.
Well, they've had a couple of good offensive games, but tonight it's just been so lacking. This makes it seem like it's never been here. Now we're going to be curious to see what they can call up on this play, because if you haven't been watching the Storm all year long or following us, once they get inside the 5, really, the play calling.
Challenging the ruling on the field that the receiver was contacted and then touched the wall.
Right. And the thing here is if Salmons bounced off the wall on his own accord and then went into the end zone, it is a touchdown. But if he was touched by a player, then he's obviously going to be out.
I thought, that's what I thought. I thought he had gotten into the end zone. We'll see. Oh, no, he got touched.
Well, the thing is, he was touched after, I want to say. I think he was touched after. So it might be where the guy made contact, but if he would have been on his feet, then it's still a touchdown. So I think that might go the Storm's way. And this kind of points out, Jack, what we're trying to make the point of, and that is how they struggled inside the 3. You would think that you wouldn't risk losing a timeout when you got it first and goal at the 2.5-yard line.
Yeah, at the
but
2.
They're going to do it.
First and goal at the 2. And I would be curious to see him work under a Hendricks couple of plays and trying to get that in the end zone. We've seen, one good run from him.
No, we just saw another angle that makes it look like there was no contact, and even if there was, again, it was after the fact, so the Storm might actually be getting a touchdown here.
Yeah, and again, I'm sure the fans are thinking, hey, it's 2-yard line, you can get it in, but we've seen cases where that wasn't true, unfortunately, and this is a chance for the Storm to retake the lead in this game because they're trailing 14-10 with 11:03 to go in the third period.
So it's looking like the Storm certainly will just have one more game left after this, but I'm glad that they're drawing such a great crowd here tonight on a very, very rainy night. We'll get the call here. So rainy that it's...
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The defender touched the receiver's arm while he hit the wall. Tampa Bay is charged with its first timeout of the half.
So they lose a timeout here. They got a first and goal at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, he did touch his arm. Man, that could hurt. I mean, timeouts at the end of the game. Hopefully the Storm have it in the bag by then. But, again, you need sometimes those timeouts at the end of the game if you're behind to be able to, especially when it gets down to the 1-minute mark, get the ball back if you need it. But right now the Storm really have to play to not have it come down to the end, and unfortunately, very few of their wins have not come down to the end if you really break it down.
11:03 to go in the third period. They trail 14-10, but they're threatening to take the lead right here with 4 shots at the end zone from the 2.
And the good news is Ben Osai is back in there, so they have the full line blocking for Hendricks.
It's Ings in motion, and their big guy this time gets stopped.
Hendricks was pretty convinced he had not touched the ground, so he got up, he sort of pushed himself off the pile and then leapt in a very ungraceful manner across the goal line. He really wanted that end zone, and actually I think he might have a point. I don't know if he actually ever touched the ground. He was on a pile of bodies, but the Storm
went on and jumped again into the end zone, but they're not going to protest that one. They're going to go second and goal now from the 2. And again, you get the feeling with this guy, this looks like same play developing. And this time, Boltus keeps it and picks up 1 yard. It'll be third and goal at the 1. This is getting scary.
Well, in a way, that if everything goes according to how it should go, and if you're not psychologically messed up, that's a good play because it gets you to where you can sneak it in. Now will the Storm try and do that?
Now, which play are they going to go? Are they going to push Boltus in, or are they going to give the ball to Hendricks?
Well, at this point, at this play, and Boltus, I was going to say sneak it, but Boltus is limping back to the huddle.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right, Jack. That was not a good play.
You might have to go with your big guy, Hendricks. Let's see if that's what's going to happen. Here we go. Boltus is back. They're going to try to throw it in, and they do. Successfully to Julius Gregory for the touchdown. Surprise, surprise. And we got a L.A. player down there, but he is getting up now. So the Storm retakes the lead at 16-14, and the extra point try coming up.
And that was a great read by Boltus because, again, don't throw it to the guy that Kaiser is covering. They had Benton, who stands 6 foot tall, against Gregory, who's 6'4", and Benton, again, is more of a linebacker than a defensive back. So that was always the right matchup, and the Storm took advantage. It just seems like a miracle that it happened. It's been so long since they've had a successful play like that.
And the extra point is good. So with 8:54 to go in the third quarter, the Storm takes the lead at 17-14, and this is Storm Radio. Buddy of his, he's living in Fairfax County, D.C. suburb.
I need to let him know about the big brewery that opened there today.
They had a brewery open in
Deschutes, the place we went to in Portland, opened a spot in Cleveland today.
Oh, really?
2 months too late.
Pretty cool. DeMarco Sampson can't return this one, so this will come out to the 5. And it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Kiss from their own 5-yard line, moving from right to left in this quarter, and we're at 8:48 to go in this quarter. in a 17-14 game with the Kiss holding the lead, the Storm holding the lead right now.
So we mentioned that it's just been a good crowd considering the weather here today. Our producer, Brian Allward, normally we wouldn't tell sob stories when it comes to a radio producer, but what he went through to get to the game is pretty amazing.
Here we go. Out of the end zone and going way downfield and tried to get it to Tom Gilson, but it was broken up down there by Al Phillips.
And Dexter Jackson from the MAC linebacker getting in there as his man actually fell down and got a nice pop on Southwick. Yep. Brian, as our studios are located on Gandy Boulevard near Del Mabry, and if you're around anywhere in Southampton tonight, a lot of lakes, a lot of rain-made lakes. He ended up having to park at the Hooters on 4th, right there on Gandy, and walking through a lake to get to the studios.
You're kidding.
Unbelievable.
I know how bad it was. I came up through that area earlier. Here we go. A long pass downfield, and a couple of players. It's going to be an interference call. He's trying to get it to DeMarco Sampson.
I disagree, and so does James Harrell. It seemed like they were just tied up with one another. I'm going to watch the replay to see that I'm not wrong.
It looked like that.
Both going. There's two flags, both going for the ball.
Legal contact. Defense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I totally disagree with that call.
I disagree, too. It was
There was contact.
Yeah, but it was the offensive player trying to get around the defensive player that brought about the contact. Now, granted, he couldn't get to the ball.
Right. But, that's one thing if you push him or you hold him. He was just in his way, and he didn't let him get around him.
So it's a 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line, and a pitch out here to Sampson, and Sampson runs up the right side for a few yards. They're going to mark it at the 16-yard line, which is going to make it a 2nd and 4 from their own 16 with 7:20 to go in the third quarter, and the Kiss trailing 17-14.
James Harrell did not get credit for that tackle, but he did at least prevent a first down because he made the receiver change his course.
Here we go. Back is Southwick. Southwick being pursued and finally tossing it up into the stands. Good breakthrough on that one, and a fan's got himself a brand new arena football.
Well, speaking of breakthroughs, we may be having one tonight with the Storm on their defensive line with Ronnie Barrow, again from Bethune-Cookman, playing in his first arena football game. Had 75 tackles. Think about that. On the defensive line, you don't pick up a lot of tackles. And he had 75 tackles in 2 seasons at Bethune-Cookman, was an all-conference player. Not only did he make Southwick double pump there, but he still made him throw the ball away, too. A lot of great pressure, and he's in for Cisse tonight. Doing well.
Here we go. Back is Southwick. Passing complete on the near side. First down to Tom Gilson out of UMass. Harrell is saying he didn't catch it, but it looked like he did. I think everybody thought he did. We're down to 6:13 to go in the third quarter.
And we can pretty much officially put any hopes of the playoffs to rest, unfortunately. We're going to still be excited if the Storm win and hopefully beat Orlando, but Spokane just fumbled at the 1-yard line on a quarterback sneak.
By the way, he did drop that after he hit the wall, so he went out of bounds and then dropped the ball. That's what Harrell was protesting about. Southwick going for it all, and he's got a man broken up beautifully at the last moment by Al Phillips as he tried to get it. Let's see.
Well, Morgan was the intended receiver, and
Donovan Morgan.
The ball hung up enough, and I think it had to hang up to be able to sort of match the route of Morgan, and gave the air under the ball, gave Phillips enough time to make a play on it, and it was similar to the play that L.A. made earlier in this half, running the ball down.
2nd and 10 at their own 23, and a little screen down the near side to Morgan again, and Morgan goes down the right sideline and gets inside the 10-yard line, so it's going to be a 1st and goal. Donovan Morgan at 6'3", 225-pounder out of Louisiana Lafayette in his 7th season. He's a veteran, and he chugs down that sideline until he is hit and knocked out of bounds by Phillips. But it gives them a 1st and goal at the 8.
Legitimately one of the best receivers in the league. Tough to hold him down, which the Storm actually have tonight.
Morgan's in motion, and they get the easy touchdown. A little screen pass to Miles Mason out of Utah, the rookie, and Mason does a pretty decent dance for a big guy in the end zone, and the L.A. Kiss retake the lead.
And both of those plays were misdirection plays as the Storm, L.A. does a nice job of taking advantage of that Storm aggression on defense. It looked like both times Ronnie Barrow was going to get a nice lick in on Southwick, or at least alter him, but they were both designed to sort of go misguided off to the left. So good play calling by the Kiss to get the lead back. Doink.
Oh, the extra point is no good. That could be a factor here. Let's see, at a 17-20 ball game with 4:05 to go in the third quarter, and this is Storm Radio. Being a
we also had two people dressed in the Stormtroopers outfit kissing through their masks.
That was one of the more entertaining kiss cams anytime, anywhere. Everybody does it all across the league, but that one was one of the best.
And I'm going to take a wild guess. I have no knowledge of that fan who was wearing the Kiss, the actual rock group, which the LA Kiss is named after. I'm going to guess that he did not come all the way from LA to watch this game. I'm going to guess that he's just an absolute big-time Kiss fan, the music act, and they used that as a reason to get on over here.
I think so. He seemed angry, though, at being on the Kiss cam.
Or he was kind of not sure what to feel because he's way past the point of feeling anything.
Here's the kick, and it's through the net, and it's going to be out to the 5-yard line as Ings is protesting, saying, why didn't I get to return that one? Because it was in the net, but he took it, and he had 1 foot, I guess, on the white stripe. So the LA Kiss is in front with 3:55. Clock running now. Storm 1st and 10 at their own 5, moving left to right. Throw on the near side is complete. And picking up a couple of yards, Julius Gregory to the 9-yard line, which is going to make it a 2nd and 6.
And you look at, when this season is over, you have to sort of take inventory on who were the positives, and Julius Gregory certainly stands out to me. They're going to go through a handful of new Storm players that they'll certainly want to keep until next season.
Oh, yeah. He's a keeper for sure. Boltus drops back, and his pass is knocked down right at the line of scrimmage, and that'll be incomplete. So it's going to be a 3rd and 6 at the 9, at their own 9.
It had the visual effect of almost like the tuck rule where it just came out, but indeed it was so close to the line of scrimmage, the defender, he got a hand on the ball. It was an immediately out of his hand and down to the ground kind of thing. And yeah, that's that guy.
Oh,
Iantron Dillon, man. He is something else. He is a guy, again, who was showing off the physique in the pregame for a defensive lineman. He's got quite a build.
So here we go with a 3rd and 6 at the 9. And Boltus is back, throws complete, and they get the first down out to Tolliver. Tolliver at the 16 will move the markers here.
And again, that's the type of pass that the Storm, haven't gotten enough of. You almost see the more successful teams, the teams with the winning record, just casually get those 3rd down conversions, and that was one where he fired it in like he was supposed to. I'm going to tell you, Jack, that after this play, the San Jose-Arizona game really made me think it's going to be San Jose and Jacksonville in the final.
That's a good possibility. Here we go. Boltus 1st and 10 at his own 16. And good play to Salmons again on the boards on the right side, and that takes him to the 23-yard line where it's going to be a 3rd and 3.
But you remember how Nick Davila led the Arizona to the Arena Bowl the last few years and just lit up the Storm for 9 touchdowns. Well, last night in San Jose, tie game, kicked a field goal early in the 3rd quarter. Arizona didn't score again. I mean, their defense was just fierce. Pass rush, and it's something that, it's funny in arena football, an offensive game where a defense might end up being the difference.
Boy, that's true. Fans like to see a lot of offense. Oh, here's Salmons wide open, and Salmons is still loose inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and goal at the 3 with 1:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Kiss leading 20-17, but the Storm threatening to take the lead here.
Well, the Storm haven't had any quick strike drives. Obviously, they've only had 17 points, so there's not many to recall. But in this half, as we get down, that's why we point out there's a minute left. If the Storm don't score on this play, it'll probably stay this way, 2017 LA going into the 4th. But this is only their 2nd drive of the half. They've been methodical but successful this half.
Yep, here we go with a 1st and goal at the 3. Ings in motion. And they get the ball to Ings, and Ings has got a touchdown, hasn't he? Touchdown, it is. He falls over a player. He goes down, but he is injured, or somebody's injured. Is that Ings? Wow.
Yeah, the man that he went over, his own player, Jamarcus Hardrick,
Yeah, he's injured, but Ings falls on him and puts the ball on the ground, but his knees never touched the ground. So he got the touchdown.
You know, Bob McMillan, the LA coach, was considering throwing the red flag. Wow. Ooh, man.
They are challenging.
That is a weird one to challenge. Now, was a first down play, right? Oh, man, because you're really going to put it in the hands of your defense from what would be probably the 1-inch line. And by the way, I think it was a touchdown.
Yeah, it was. I don't think his knees touched at all.
Well,
I saw it on the big screen.
If they did touch, I think the ball was so close to the goal line that all they're going to get out of this is 2nd and goal from maybe the foot line. And do you really want to use a timeout on it? Now, if there were 17 seconds left to go in the game, of course. Although you don't call for a challenge that late in the game. It's all automatic from the booth. But still, the point is, I don't think this is a wise challenge for LA.
And that's going to even things up because Tampa Bay's down to 2 timeouts, and it's going to do the same thing for the LA Kiss if the challenge is no good. And you can clearly see, I think, that his knee... maybe it did.
It might have, but look where the ball is when it does hit, Jack. If it does hit right there, the ball is on the half-yard line. So even if the Storm don't get the touchdown, the ball's going to be inside the half-yard line. I'm thinking maybe the foot line. Now, if it were to bring up 3rd or 4th down, maybe one plays the difference, then and it's funny to see the Storm offense coming back on the field because they know what's coming. Okay, so successful challenge, and at the worst for LA, you don't waste the timeout now. So I don't know if it was worth risking it, but they at least won't lose that timeout. The LA Kiss won't.
Yeah, I think his knee might have gone down.
By the way, checking the scores of the other Tampa Bay teams. Not a great day in Tampa Bay sports. The Rays lost another high-scoring game, poorly played, 11-7. I'll give you the details after this call. I think the Storm are going
to the Bo Sox up there.
I think the Storm are going to have to run another play.
Here we go.
The ruling on the field is reversed.
Yeah.
The runner's knee was down, at which point the ball was at the half-yard line. It will be 2nd down and goal from the half-yard line.
Well, the fans are booing,
it's a good call.
But that's a good call.
It's a good call. So not only did the Rays lose, but Matt Moore was sent to AAA after the game. He struggled and took the loss.
Wow.
And they do have a lot of off days, so they're just going to go with the 4-man rotation. They might not have needed him anyway, so maybe that's a way to get his confidence back. But they also had Steven Souza, their outfielder, break his hand. So he's on the DL.
Oh, man.
And the Rowdies just finished up their game tonight on the road. They tied 1-1, had a 1-0 lead. So they have
Who are they playing?
Carolina up there in Cary, North Carolina. So they now have 3 losses and a tie in their last 4 games.
Well, that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. And
that's the end of the 3rd quarter.
The Storm's going to have it with a 2nd and goal at the 1-foot line or the 2-foot line when we start. What I heard. Here we go, trying to push the ball in and didn't make it on the first try.
A little
Basically, it was trying to push Boltus in. Again, the fullback comes out and Andra Hendricks tries to push him in, but unable to do so.
A little bit fired up is Daryl Cato Bishop, and he had nothing to do with that play, by the way. It was the interior of the line that really just was there. Boltus could have gone around and decided to be stubborn and go up the middle. He needs to look off tackle, if you will, even though there's no real tackles. You just got 3 guys out there.
Now let's see what happens on this one. 3rd and goal at the 1. And Boltus tries to run it in, and he is dropped again.
Wow, what a tackle there, and it justifies the challenge now, doesn't it? Brendan Daly with the stop. He did exactly what I suggested, and he was just pounded down by the MAC linebacker who was getting that was Nikos Brown. I knew the numbers would get me at some point. But now the Storm are in a position where that challenge, which we thought was kind of frivolous by L.A., could actually burn them.
Boy, I'll say. Wow, we're down to I think they got a bad spot on that one. I think he was a little closer than that, but it doesn't matter. Let's not quibble over a few inches. Here we go again. And Boltus gives it back to the fullback, and he scoots right on in. Andra Hendricks. Hendricks carries the ball in the 5'11", 3-pounder.
That is
from Hardin Simmons, the rookie out of Harvard, Hardin Simmons, and he takes the ball out to midfield for a little dance.
That is the longest to run, less than a yard run where the guy didn't go backwards ever. I mean, in arena football, it seemed like it was a good play call. They actually pitched it. So LA had everyone clogged up, and the pitch is the smart move. And he had the corner, but it took him forever to get there. Thank goodness he got there.
Oh, he did. And the Storm retakes the lead. The extra point try is good. And with 12:52 to go in the game, it's 23-20. The Storm in front. And this is Storm Radio.
LA's recent scores, they've all been low scoring. They've won their last 2 games in low scoring fashion. So this actually kind of sets up for LA, sadly to say, to win.
Back deep to Marco Sampson, and Peterson sends it off the screen. Sampson out to the, whoa, he's dumped at the 4-yard line. Jumped forward and leapt over one guy and smashed into a Storm player who dropped him.
And if you're wondering why we haven't been given many scores of the other game, because it's not been favorable to the Storm, and it continues to be that way. Again, they needed Cleveland to lose tonight, but Cleveland has a 16-point lead, just recovered an onside kick. And again, Spokane had several chances to make that a closer game. Didn't happen. But in that Orlando-Jacksonville game, Orlando has turned it around. They were down 17, Jack. They're up 20. So Orlando's going to win the division.
Yep, you got it nailed. So it'll be unimportant to them next week.
Yep.
Here goes Southwick going for a long pass downfield and a touchdown to Donovan Morgan. Donovan hit the wall up at the 12-yard line, bounced off the wall, and Al Phillips was well ahead of him and came back and couldn't get to him, and he just traversed the field and scored.
You got to touch him there if you're Al Phillips, which he didn't. He had every chance to do it, but Morgan is such a sensational receiver. And added a stiff arm there as if to rub it in on Al Phillips, but a great job by Morgan there. I got to correct my earlier statement. There was a decent reaction. I think there's maybe about a dozen people that are LA Kiss fans. Now, whether they're family that live here or actually made the trip, I'm impressed.
Here's the snap and the extra point try, and this one is good. So it's now a 27-24 game as the LA Kiss retakes the lead, and this is Storm Radio. Whelming lead.
And it's a shame. I mean, you really look back if you're the Storm. If they had managed to, hang on against Orlando, if they had managed to beat New Orleans, then they're at least not eliminated tonight, Jack.
Yeah.
Then again, they would be eliminated tonight if they lose this game, which right now they are losing, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, that would. I think there's some consolation in losing the other way. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think.
Here we go. Ings takes it off the net, out to the 5, moves to the right, and gets hauled down from behind.
I think what it would have been, the worst thing would have been for Spokane to win tonight, help the Storm, and the Storm lose the game. So.
Oh, we got a fight breaking out down there again.
You look at Cleveland, Jack, just like the Storm, we're on a 4-game losing streak that the Storm actually began with that onside kick recovery and touchdown with 2 seconds left. That sent Cleveland on to a 4-game losing streak. Of course, their next 2 games were at Jacksonville and at Philly, and then they lost to Orlando last week. So Cleveland was kind of in a very similar situation for the Storm. The only difference was they had the tiebreaker on Tampa Bay, so they had that little cushion. And pretty similar opponents, though, Spokane and L.A., and Cleveland really destroyed Spokane tonight, so you got to give them credit.
So from the 11, a 1st and 10 for the Storm, moving right to left in this final quarter. And Boltus back, going to run with the ball and picks up about 4 of those 10 yards. And they'll have the ball with a 2nd and 6 at the 15-yard line.
And again, as we take stock, it's unfortunately you start to have to do as you realize the team's not going to make the playoffs. I think they made the right decision with Jason Boltus. It is kind of weird how it's worked out, how Randy Hippard, it was basically a swap, and he's doing the job tonight, and he's leading Orlando to the playoffs. So I don't know if he was a massive downgrade or a massive upgrade, but I think he's done enough that that's not going to be an issue to worry about.
Yeah. Offensive and defensive line are a big deal, I think.
Got that right.
This is way overthrown pass to Tolliver. Tolliver trying to take it in the end zone. They go for it all from the 11-yard line, but it's incomplete. It'll be a 2nd and 10.
You bring that up because that's why I pointed out that San Jose, how they, hold Arizona to 3 points in the second half, and I wanted to watch it and see how it happened. And it was just pressure. Nick Davila had nowhere to go with the ball, and they have a great secondary as well. And so, they have a little bit of everything on that San Jose defense, but the point is the line. Now, I'm glad to see what we've seen tonight with the Storm picking up Ronnie Barrow. He has been a big factor, but they probably need another strong defensive lineman and maybe one more offensive lineman.
And an offensive lineman, yeah, there you go. Back is Boltus, and a screen to their big guy. Lots of yards. He's still running. He's carrying two guys with him, and the crowd's going wild.
Awesome.
This might be a big pickup, this Andra Hendricks, 5'11", 305 pounds out of Hardin-Simmons, and he's a rookie, and he picked up a mile.
Well, they have been waiting for a fullback to actually be an offensive threat all year long, and we've seen him on that last drive with the big pitch touchdown.
And the fact he held on to that ball, both teams came up there, one team trying to prop him up, and the other team trying to take him down. That was a wild scene. The fans loved it, and I think they got a great player for next year if they can keep him. Andra Hendricks, fullback. And Boltus unleashes one, and just barely, that was dangerous. That was close to the screen. Had that hit the screen, that could have been caught by the other guy. And he was trying to get it to Julius Gregory in the corner of the end zone.
And you see this
back there covering was Teron Benton.
You see this happen in arena football where you have players that, are not necessarily specialists at their position becoming that. Hendricks, defensive player in college, Jack. Defensive lineman all the way through.
So here we go with a 2nd and 10 at the 18 of the Kiss. Boltus is going to carry it, and boom, he picks up about half the distance.
Well, you got to like to see that effort right there from Jason Boltus, and of course he's a little bit shaken up there, and he has to take his helmet off his right leg. He wants to get back up so he doesn't use a timeout. Maybe it was just an equipment adjustment, but either way.
Yeah, he's hobbling a little, but he's been hobbling the whole game.
Well, he's trying to fix his helmet while he's hobbling, and so he might actually get an equipment timeout here. Yeah, the referee signals my time. And you got to like what you're seeing in Boltus here, too.
Yep.
Because he could have just thrown that ball away, and instead he ran right into the middle of the two defensive players. So with 7.5 minutes to go, this is only the Storm's third possession of the second half. They scored on the first two. It was 14-10 at halftime if you're just joining us. 3 turnovers forced by the Storm on defense. No stops this half. That's why LA's still on top.
And a very low-scoring game again. Here we go. Boltus back. And completed pass to Ings. And Ings takes it inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and goal at the 2 as Ings with a nice catch. Great pass by Boltus. Ings with a good catch. And he was pretty well covered on that one by Rayshon Kaiser, but got away from him and gets him down into scoring position at the 2. I'll give you the attendance figures in a minute. Might be the biggest crowd of the year.
It is.
I think it is.
I can give people a sneak preview on that.
Boltus.
Look at that.
Oh, wow. What a misdirection play that was. The ball was into Andra Hendricks, who ran to the left, but everybody was going to the right. And that was just a great misdirection play, and he goes in for an easy score. He got taken down in the end zone.
Hendricks is starting to get a little bit of a strut to him. And why wouldn't you after making now 3 big offensive plays? Remember, his first touchdown was the first of his AFL career, Jack. For a guy that played defense in college, it only stands to reason. And, it was a big play. It was on 4th down, and that one he made it look easy, and the Storm back on top as we get down towards the end of this game.
Yep, we got 6:01 to go. And here comes the extra point try, which is good. And the Storm take a 31-27 lead with 5:55 to go in the game, and this is Storm Radio.
To beat Orlando.
By the way, we got 16,308 on hand tonight. I think that's the biggest crowd of the season, isn't it, Steve? Steve Bursnick says it is.
Yeah. Biggest prior to that, we had 11-1 against Jacksonville, 13-9 against Philly.
Yep, season high.
13-9 was the high.
Hey, here's the kick, and coming out with the ball is Sampson, and Sampson runs into a pile of players and is down at the 14-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 14, moving left to right for the Kiss now. 5:45 left in the ball game. And this one could come down to a crunch here. Let's see, you've got a 4-point difference now, so chance of an overtime are slim.
Got that right.
Oh, who let the dogs out?
Don't start. Don't start.
I'm waiting for YMCA. We haven't had it tonight. I'm very disappointed. Here we go with the kiss. Southwick. Danny Southwick drops back. Good protection. Throws complete. And picking up a couple of extra yards down there is DeMarco Sampson. And we got a flag. I think something happened after the play here. Some kind of after the play activity, and I think it might be on LA. I don't know what happened there. Let's see. I didn't see anything.
Sorry, Jack. I just had a I thought the ball came out. No, it did not. Sorry.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense, number 77.
that helps.
10-yard penalty. It's second down.
That helps because they never achieved the first down, so it makes it's almost like a 2-yard loss. I had a challenge there. I just had to fill out the players of the game, and basically, you do an offensive player of the game, and I guess Donovan Morgan would be the easy one, but nothing really stands out. So I went with Miles Mason.
I like the offensive player.
Yeah.
I like this Andre Hendricks.
I thought about it.
And here, dropped pass.
I mean, I know that Morgan is probably going to get it, but I thought Miles Mason was very adept on offense. And you know what? Also, when has an offensive lineman ever been named offensive player of the game in arena football?
Very seldom.
Ever.
They don't like it.
Ever.
Here's DeMarco Sampson dropping an easy pass.
So he's an offensive player. They've had pretty decent blocking. He's made a couple of good offensive plays, so I gave it to the freaking offensive lineman. Let's see if it actually stands.
I'd go with, of course, I'm prejudiced, but I would go with Andre Hendricks on this thing. He's done some good running. We're at 4:15, and here we go with Southwick going for it all, and he's got it. Touchdown, and that's going to give the lead. Tom Gilson back to the L.A. Kiss.
And I'm telling you, Randall Burden wants some sort of offensive pass interference, but he's just asking for help there that he should have provided himself. In fact, there was contact, but it was just because he should have made more of a play on it, and he didn't. Now, yeah, Gilson might have separated from Burden, but that play should have been made by the defensive back.
So here we go for the extra point try, and it's good. So with 3:31 to go, the Kiss retakes the lead by 5 points at 34-31. And we'll take a break. This is Storm Radio.
How can you increase energy efficiency at home without sacrificing comfort?
NFL, and Steve Griggs is the new CEO. Here we go. Ings out of the backfield, or out of the end zone, pushing his way forward and getting out to about the 4. They're going to say the 5-yard line before he got nailed. So not a lot of good returns for Ings in this game, but that could be blocking as well as his talents. So it's a 1st and 10 for the Storm at their own 5-yard line, moving from right to left here with 3:10 to go and the clock moving, and they trailing by 3 points.
If you're wondering, Cleveland has all of its timeouts left, but the Storm still, if they work the clock right, could finish with a late score here.
And I was saying it wouldn't be OT, but it very well could be OT now. Here's a pass going for it all. Oh, off the fingers of Tolliver. Tolliver all the way down at the 5-yard line. Went down trying to catch that one. I want to see it in slow-mo because it would
have been a very difficult catch.
It was horribly tough for him to catch.
He was flying down to the turf. He was stumbling down to the turf, going fast at the same time, and so to catch it would have been very, very difficult.
So it's 2nd and 10 at their own 5 for the Storm. And again, they wrap up the season next week at Orlando. We'll have that broadcast for you. I think it's 7:30. And again, going for it all. And, we got a flag this time. Interference call. Definitely a good call, as he was trying to get the ball to Emery Sammons all the way down at the 10, and Sammons had to come back for it. And
pass interference.
I can't read these jerseys at all. He was interfered with by Rayshon Kaiser. And actually, it was one of those things where Rayshon couldn't help it because he was trying to catch up to Salmons.
Right.
And the ball was thrown short, so Salmons had to come back for it, but he couldn't get through Rayshon. Really, that shouldn't even be a penalty against the guy because there's nothing he could do about it. It certainly wasn't an intentional foul. Well, here we go with a 1st and 10 at the 15. And a pitch out this time to Ings. Play. And Ings, nice play.
Could have it coming back, though. It looks like it might be a holding call. And the thing is, though, yeah, the clock will stop here.
He gets the first down if the play stands out to the 25.
And this is kind of interesting that they are choosing to accept the penalty. If you're LA, that almost means that they think the Storm, won't score here. They're not worried about
offense.
Yep.
Number 1.
We're down to a minute 38, only a play or two left here.
Well, that's the thing. The Storm now, if this play clock, they're only going to have to run one more play before the 1-minute warning. If they can get the first down, they are going to be in good shape to not give LA a chance to answer any score.
Replay first down.
And again, only a 3-point difference, so it could be up to.
That's true. If it comes down to 4th down,
Craig Peterson,
you might try a kick. Absolutely.
Yeah. So here we go.
Oh, that's rough. If that's on the man in motion.
False start.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's half the distance.
It's going to be half the distance to goal.
Absolutely.
First down.
Well, now the Storm need to, as it's first down and more than 20 yards or around 20 yards, they need to concentrate on getting about 10 yards back on this play. In fact, it's weird. The clock will start. That actually benefits the Storm because they don't have to run a play here, and I don't see why they have any urgency to do it.
1st and 21, and they're coming up.
They're going to run a play.
This is going to be close. Let's see if they get this play off. I don't know. Yep, they're going to get it off, I think. Yep, they did.
10 yards now.
Here we go, and they're going for it all. And an incomplete pass as they try to get it down the field to Gregory, and it's incomplete. And we're down to 56 seconds, so that means the 1-minute warning is what we're at right now. So we will take a break here with a 34-31 game. The Kiss in front of the Storm by 3 with a minute to go, and this is Storm Radio. We go with a 2nd and 21 from in the end zone. Boltus throws, and they pick up a big chunk of it out to Ings, who gets knocked up against the wall, and that'll stop the clock.
I'm telling you, that's the play they should have run, but they should have waited until the 1-minute warning, because getting that play call off before the 1-minute warning, again, if LA wants to start using its timeouts, you run an extra play. They don't have to call timeout after. But you know what? It's all going to work out if they convert this third down here, or even a 4th down. But let's get it on 3rd down, I say.
I think that'd be a good idea. Got a 3rd and 3 right now at their own 22-yard line. Right to left, Boltus, good protection, going for it all, and
that is a huge penalty. That is a huge penalty right there.
That'll give Tampa Bay a 1st and 10.
Again, the play call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 7. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
The play call to go for the end zone, just to me, there's no reason for the Storm to try and score right away here. I know in a conventional, part of the game, 3rd and 3, you surprise them and go deep. Well, they surprised them to go deep because right now the Storm need to just keep it short and score as late as you can. Still, LA hasn't had to use a timeout, but if the Storm can change their approach, they don't have to worry about trying to stop LA at the end of the game. They can just score with, say, 15 seconds left.
Well, we got 46 seconds now, and the Kiss has a 3-point lead. And Boltus back, and a flat pass on the far side, and they get it over to Emery Salmons, and Salmons picks up 3 to the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Not calling timeout, and they have all 3. So they must think that their defense is going to keep the Storm out of the end zone. They're just going to win this game. I doubt the Storm would choose to kick a field goal. Very interesting.
Tampa Bay.
Well, we're at 24 seconds, and Tampa Bay calls the timeout. And they've got 24 seconds left. And again, a 3-point difference. If Tampa Bay gets a field goal, we're into OT. Hey, we're into YMCA territory.
I better start talking. All right, so listen. Next week, the Storm wrap up their season in Orlando, pregame of 6:30. If you haven't been, seriously, if you're a Storm fan and you have not been to Amway over there, go. It's going to be fun. Orlando just wrapped up the South Division tonight, 64-50, so they're probably going to just, take it easy. In other words, you're probably going to see a Storm victory. Either way, it's going to be intense and fun. There goes Jack, his favorite group of Village people. And more than that, to cheer on the Storm in enemy territory, it is, hold on, YMCA, do it. There you guys. Anyway, the arena is beautiful. You hate to admit that anything about the Orlando Predators could be beautiful, but the building they play in most certainly is. Jack, you remember when we went there the first time? I had that black bean burger. I'm going to get that again. It was so good. Steve Versnick is going to be our engineer. I don't know if you're a black bean guy or a veggie guy. It's so delicious there. Trust me. They do it up right.
Well,
so,
here we go.
Come
We're
to
back
that
on the
game.
field.
Orlando did wrap up the South tonight by beating Jacksonville. Came back from down 17-0 to do it.
Going to be a 2nd and 7 from the 15 of the Kiss. Boltus is back. This is an exciting finish to a ball game. What a breakup on that play. And that was by Rayshon Kaiser. Stepped up and knocked the ball away. I didn't even see who the receiver was. I think it was Ings. Yeah, that was Ings.
Yeah, well, this is just the ultimate confidence in your defense. We told you that L.A. has gone on this streak where they won 4 of 6 games after an 0-9 start, all based on their defense and Donovan Morgan, the one player on offense. Really.
I think this game's going into OT because we got 20 seconds left and got a 3rd and 7.
I don't think the Storm are interested in OT. I think they go. I think they go for a touchdown.
Yeah, I think so too.
Either way.
And back is Boltus. He's got lots of time and he's got a touchdown. That'll ice it. T.T. Tolliver. Tolliver in the corner of the end zone. I think it ices it with 15 seconds to go.
What was the time I mentioned before? Score with like 15 seconds left?
Yep. And they certainly did it to Tolliver. And a big win coming up here, I think, for our Tampa Bay Storm. I'm not giving it up yet.
Your eagerness to jinx the Storm is very impressive. But seriously, this extra point is humongous because it would take it to a situation where L.A. has to score a touchdown. And 15 seconds, I'll take it. I don't think they needed to wait to a 4th and 7.
Well, I think with Peterson doing the kicking, I think it's going to be good.
Man, you are really eager to
Here
jinx
we go
things.
with the kick, and it is good. So it would require a 15-second touchdown by the L.A. Kiss in order to come back and win this one. This is a good way to start next season, really, with a win here and maybe a win next weekend in Orlando.
Yeah, I would really encourage people to make that trip because the Storm definitely, if you don't have playoffs to play for, what do you want? You want something else to play for motivation-wise. I don't think you could pick any other team on their schedule if you're out of the playoffs than Orlando to go up against, because if you need the real quick thumbnail recap of what has happened the first 2 games, and again, if either of these games go the other way, the Storm are still in it. And for goodness sake, the first game should have gone the other way. The Storm led it by 3 touchdowns in Orlando in the 4th quarter, and their offense just couldn't put it away. A pick 6 at the 1-minute mark, and then a touchdown on the last play of regulation, followed by a 2-point conversion, followed by the Storm starting overtime with a touchdown, and then Orlando again, touchdown, 2-point conversion. It was a nightmare in a game they should have won.
And it was typical of the Orlando-Tampa Bay series.
Well, the fans were leaving after the Storm made the stop when it was a 2-touchdown game. With 4 minutes left, the fans started leaving. That's when the pick 6 followed. And then the second time was here, and that's when, of course, the Storm had that lead in the 4th quarter with the ball and intercepted, and then, of course, got stopped at the 1-yard line on the last play of the game.
Well, here we go. Here's the kick, and it's off the screen. And out comes Sampson. Sampson looking for running room. And
Julius Gregory.
He is stopped with 11 seconds to go. That would have been catastrophic, and he run it back.
Well, that was a fantastic tackle by Julius Gregory, who has he's the guy that's always been the special teams onside kick recoverer. That time he makes the big tackle. And so with 11 seconds left at the 15-yard line, the Storm have got to watch out for just one guy, and that's Donovan Morgan.
Well, this is a big finish to this game. Storm in front 38-34, and L.A. having to score a touchdown.
Donovan Morgan's got to get the head start in motion. Burden needs to back up.
There we go. Back is Southwick. Rolls out, going for it. No, he's going for part of it. And 5 seconds left, and he gets it down to 2 seconds. So one play left in this game, and they will have the ball at the Storm 15-yard line. So if they score a TD on this play, they'll win it. If they don't score a TD on this play, they won't win it. Actually, he didn't get the ball out of bounds. They're having to call a timeout, but that's immaterial at this point.
Right. Yeah.
We're down to 2 seconds.
Well, whether he had gotten out of bounds or not, it still would have been 2 seconds at the 15-yard line.
They need a 15-yard play here to score. Now, if they score, they win.
Now, let's make sure we remind people that L.A., is still in the playoff hunt if they win this game. So the Storm are eliminated, but this play is everything for the L.A. Kiss. I think they're eliminated with the loss. I tried looking at it. I think they are eliminated with the loss. So this is everything for L.A. right here.
This is big. This is the play of the year for the L.A. Kiss. First and 10, doesn't matter. First and 10. They got 15 yards. They got to make 15 yards to the end zone on this play. And it's a sack and an interception, no less. The ball was intercepted by Addison. Incredible. What a finish to this game. And the Storm win it 38-34 over the L.A. Kiss. And that means the Storm goes to 7-10 with one game remaining. The LA Kiss goes to 4-13 with a game left. And what a finish down to the last play of the game. How many times has the Storm seen that happen this year?
And it was both Dexter Jackson and Everett Dawkins on the pressure there. It's almost like a jailbreak. You can't really have that in arena football because you can only rush 4 guys. But it just had the appearance of that. And so for all the issues that the defense had during the 4-game losing streak, they get the 3 turnovers in the first half and in the end a 4th turnover. But regardless of whether Addison intercepted that ball, it was going to the turf. It was really that defensive line. And so the Storm feeling a lot better, and now, of course, they have a chance to end up the season. 8-10 is not the prettiest record, but believe me, a win over Orlando would sound very nice to them.
And as the team leaves the field, we're going to be talking to Richard Klebert here in a couple of moments.
Oh, yeah.
When they get into the end zone. But it is really, you're really now just building on next year. And the best thing that could happen to them, you got neither team playing for anything. Because Orlando's already won the division, so they don't have to win next week. And you got the Tampa Bay Storm out of the playoffs. They don't have to win next week. But it's the war on I-4, so both teams are going to be playing for everything they can to try to win this one. And that's a big, big deal.
And incidentally, L.A. is eliminated because even if they win next week against San Jose, they would end up, at best, tied with Portland, and Portland has beaten them twice. So L.A., that was it for